Welcome to the webinar, and thank you for joining us. Today, I would love to highlight two key topics, the updates of the platform. First would be Telegram mini apps, creating Telegram mini apps on the platform. And the second is the huge update of our form builder. It allows to create really sophisticated, intertwined forms for your apps. All right. Let's start with Telegram mini apps. So first of all, what is Telegram mini app? That is the application right inside the Telegram messenger. It is an extremely popular messenger around the world, at least in Europe, in Russia, in Latin America, and it is becoming more and more popular in the US. So let me show you a couple of examples. For example, one of the most renowned applications is Telegram crypto wallet. So you could use your Ton coins, so-called cryptocurrency Ton coins, to pay for different digital goods. So now I'll show you how to create and deploy your own Telegram mini app. All right. So I just have created a blank app using standard template. So you could see that is a blank app with some default pages. For example, I could configure it, creating some logo, for example, using our AI logo generation. And I would love to choose some colorful scheme. All right, that looks great. And what is the key advantage of using Telegram mini app is the seamless authorization. It means that if user opens Telegram mini app, he doesn't need to authorize, he doesn't need to sign in or sign up. The process is automatic. So we could get acquainted with the documentation, readme.directional.com, TMA. Here is it, Telegram mini app. All right, TMA. Yep, and you could go step by step, installing the plugin, then deploying the application to Telegram. Let's do it. First, I go to the marketplace of plugins, marketplace, authentication, and I choose Telegram mini app plugin. It's free, so don't worry. All right, it is installed, and I can check the settings. So first is automatic login. If the automatic login falls, I'll need to push the button sign in with Telegram. So it works if I need additional authorization methods for my Telegram mini app. For our case, I don't need it, so I'll keep auto login true. And I could disable registration or enable it if I have, say, some dashboard and I don't want to provide anyone with an access to my dashboard. So, but here for now, I will enable registration. Okay, all right. And next, I go to Telegram, the bot called BotFather, and now I need to create a new application. First of all, I need a bot. I'll use my existing bot. It is called Directional Stars. So that is the special bot for paying in stars. We'll cover that extremely curious topic in the following webinars. But for now, we'll consider the Telegram mini apps only. All right, I already have a bot. And next, I need to send the special command called new app to the bot father. So I type new app. I choose the bot with which I'm bounding the application. Now I need a title. So demo app. title. All right, please enter short description of an app. This is a demo app for the webinar. All right, the photo, I prepared it in advance. No GIF that time, and I need to provide the bot with the URL. So here is the URL of my application. I copy it and send it to the bot. All right, and now I need a short name of the bot, just an app. All right, and here we are. We just have deployed the Telegram mini app to the Telegram. And I could use that link or add a button similar to that one in the wallet. Nevertheless, I could just click to the button and I see that I'm launching an app and I'm providing it with the different information, including IP address, basic and force. So that means that I'm signing in that app. Continue. All right. And I just have logged in. Just the first page is empty, but if I check the profile, I see that I have successfully logged in. That means that the application has seamless authorization. That's extremely convenient thing. So I don't need to sign up. I don't need to sign in. So just opening up and starting using it. All right. So first, we've done it. Telegram mini apps. And next topic would be more significant, more complex, but that's a really cool update. So I'm telling about the new form builder. And just let's check our system table, app users. And here is my user, that is my Telegram ID. And if I needed to sign in somewhere in the browser, not in the Telegram, I need to generate a password. So I will edit that object and set the password, say 123, and encrypt it. All right, and I'll use that login and password 123. All right, 123. Perfect. Here's my profile, and here's my start page. Now, I would love to add a form and to play with that form. I prepared a couple of data structures for the demonstration. So, pardon for the Russian titles. Yesterday we ran to directories a webinar in Russia, so I'm reusing the application. Basically, I have the following key structures: authors, some writers. For example, that Spanish writer with a link to directory of languages, Español. So that is a special Spanish author. Also, I have the data structure with some books. So here is the book about Don Quixote, written by Anna. That is the 100 years of Saltery. Yep. Cien años de soledad, Gabriel Garcia Marquez. All right. I would love to create a form for sending the request, for choosing some book. And there would be a few steps. First, I'm creating the request. Second, I will choose the language, and then I'll choose the author and the book. So step by step. All right. Here is the page. Here is the data structure, requests. Let's delete all the requests and let's have a look at the fields. What do you want? What do you want? So that would be a choice. Then user ID, the link to the user who creates that request, And what would be language of the book, author, and the book. All right, and let's have a look at the other choice. What I'm choosing, the book or the movie. All right, book and movie. All right, let's go and create the form. So here is our page. I'm throwing the multi-form, and that form would work with some API endpoint to the data structure requests. So I am creating that endpoint to request data structure, create request that would be not public endpoint. Let's select all the fields, and I would also edit that object, not only create. So let us choose all the fields for rating. All right. Create endpoint. Oh, pardon. Yeah, create requests. And then I would add some steps to the form. By default, I have two steps, default one and submitted. And I would love to highlight the key concept of the new form. We have the model of the object that we are editing in the form, and as soon as we are pushing submit button, we send that model to the database. And the second concept is state. That is the special object that defines the state of the form, say the step, then the pop-up window, show it or not, etc. So we'll figure everything out. Let's just for the beginning create the simple first step. It would be the element input, and I would edit the field what do you want, choice ID. That is the field type of link, but for now let's keep just regular text input. Save and check. All right, what do you want? And I could type anything, but in our case the field is a link. It means that it has to contain the ID of the object from another table, another data structure. In our case, the table choice. And I could create, say, radio buttons for that, but I need to have some options. And to pull that options, I create the new endpoint. That endpoint would work with the data structure choice and get choice. All assigned in users, and I will pull all the objects without any filtering ID and visible name title. All right, create, and let's check it out. Perfect. Those are options from the data structure. Let us check it one more time. Here is our directory choice. Those are two options. I could add one more. I would love to book, movie, or I don't know, play. I would love to go to the theater. All right, let's check again. Book, movie, and play. Perfect. Let's come back to our form step elements. I could configure it to make it prettier, say horizontal layout of the radio buttons. All right. And then referring the context of the state. So state has two default fields, say step and pop-up. And by default, step is default step. And here we are, default step. If I want to create Another one that would be, say, choosing the details about the book. I could create a button for going further to the second step. All right. It means that I need an action button, and an action could be of the following types. First, the action button could send the request to some endpoint, create an action. And the second, the action could just alter the model and the state. In our case, we would change the state. We would change this step, form state step, to say second. All right, let's check it out. All right, we added the action, but we haven't added it to the form to our step. So I need to add another element that would be element type of action buttons, and action button go further. So I could choose some icon, I don't know, forward. I could make it of accent style. All right, perfect. Go further, and the second step contains nothing because there is no second step. For simplicity, we could turn on the debug features. I could show the model, the current object, and the state. Let's check it. So step, default step, and model doesn't contain anything. So if I choose some option here, so I'm changing the model. So you see, choice ID, book, and default step. I push the action button and I go to step 2, and there is no anything on that step. Let's change it. Moreover, we could use the fields of the object from model for our actions. I would love not to go to 2, but I would love to create a special step for choosing the book. So I would use what do you want field -2. All right, let's check it. Go further. All right. I don't want to go further if I choose nothing here. So we could use the conditional view, and there are 2 conditions here. For the whole element, I could show the element if the what do you want, say, is not empty. All right, check it. Perfect. I choose anything and it shows the button. But for now, I would love to disable the button if I choose something except books. Say, I haven't created those parts of the forum yet, so let us disable the button. And the thing that is that we could add additional conditional visibility for the button. So I would love disable the button if what do you want is not equal book. Let's check it. All right, no button, disable, and here enabled. Perfect. All right, let's configure that step, second step, where we would bind 2 different fields, 2 different inputs. All right, here is the step book 2, add step element. That would be the input. There could be, say, 2 inputs in row, in column. Let us have 2 inputs in a row. First would be choosing the language. That would be, say, tags. And I create new endpoint for those languages. Get languages. All signed. Everything is correct, all right. Check it. Book. Go further. And two options, Russian and Espanol. You see that the model is changed, but it is not submitted. So it means that I just work with the object on the front end, but nothing saved in the database. Let's change it. So I would love to work with the object and save it each time when I, say, switch between the steps. So we could do it the following way. First, let us edit the first step. Here, I would love to add the submit button. Let's check it. All right, I would choose book. I'm not clicking go further, I'm clicking to submit button. It redirects me to the step submitted, and it creates the object here in our requests data structure. And further, I would love to edit the step, not to create the new one. So I need to configure the form accordingly. First, I would love to check that ID and all the fields are available both for reading and for writing. It means that I could edit the object. I turn on the option edit the first object in API response, but I need to guarantee that API provides me with that object that I would love to work with. So as you might remember, the API endpoint can have the filters, and those filters could contain some parameters from URL. So I would love to add additional URL parameter. Let's call it request ID, request_ID. All right. And here I'm editing the endpoint, adding the request parameter, request ID, and I'm adding the filter that API endpoint gives me only the object which ID equals to HTTP request ID. All right. Save it and check it again. You see that the model is empty. So the API endpoint provides me with none of the objects because I need that parameter. And as soon as we have already created the request, I would use that ID. Right here, I'm adding that / and ID. Voila. Here's the object that we are editing. And you see that we have already edited the field what we want, the book, movie. And if I submit that movie, the object would be changed. Here we are. All right. There is another option for submitting the object. There could be auto submit. Let us delete our submit button. I don't need it. I would love to configure auto submit on all steps, and each time when step is changed, the object is saved to the database. All right, let's check it. Book, go further. All right, after submit on each step change, if I reload the page, I see that everything is correct. So it was saved. But moreover, I would love to be on the very same step when I continue filling the form. Here is another feature for that. I would love to save the state to the field on submit. And I have the field type of JSON. Here is the field state. That's the regular field type of JSON. Moreover, I not only want to save the state, but restore it from the object. All right, let's check it again. Book, go further. All right, I see that in the model state is saved, and if I reload the page, I'll get to the second step where I was. Perfect. Now let's figure out how to bind two fields. I would love to filter the authors by the language. Okay, go to the step book 2. Here we could configure the second field. That would be the field author. That would be the select dropdown and the endpoint get authors. And for now, I would have all the authors. Checking it out, field is not configured. All right, I haven't saved. Saved. Perfect. Russian, Spanish, but I have all the authors. And I need to add additional filter to the endpoint with which the second field is working. Author filters on the endpoint. Those filters are default for the dropdown. So I would love to add additional filter that language equals to the language. So I'm adding here additional request parameter, name it lang. Here, language equals to HTTP request lang, but I need to provide my endpoint with a value, and here is it. Add parameter lang equals to lang ID, the value from another field. All right, saving the form and checking it out. No options because I haven't chosen anything. Espanol, 2 Spanish authors. Russian, 3 Russian authors. Perfect. So those are binded fields. Moreover, I would love to disable that field if no language is chosen. It's as simple as disabling the button. So I set up input conditional visibility, disable input if the language, here we are, lang ID is empty. All right, perfect. It works. All right. Another thing that I would love to highlight is working with the pop-ups. So here we are, state pop-up, and if we put something in the pop-up, we'll see it on our form. Let us add, say, another action, show pop-up. That would be editing state. Pop-up would be, say, I don't know, pop-up 1. Then the second step, book 2, would contain action button, show pop-up. Let's check it. Show pop-up. All right, Here's pop-up, but it's blank and I cannot close it. So there could be a button inside the pop-up for closing it, but also there is an option to close pop-up by clicking outside it. Check it again, show pop-up, close pop-up. Let's add some content to the pop-up. So as you see, we saved that value to the field pop-up, to the state property, and we need the step with such a name. That will be pop-up, add element step, and that could be, say, a text paragraph where I would write, type hello, and my name. I could work with it using web user first name. Checking it out, pop up, hello Pavel. Usually the regular use case for pop-ups is adding some options to the field. So I need to add, say, another language, another author, anything. If there is no such an option, I'm clicking add an option, and here I fill the separate form, the separate step for creating that object, for sending the post request to another API endpoint. All right. The next thing that I would love to show you is creating the object synchronically and redirecting automatically. So the regular use case that I want to start filling the form and then continue filling it. So as we have done here. So if I delete the object ID from the URL, I would have the blank form. I don't want to have it, so I would love to create it and automatically be redirected. So here, I would use the custom layout. Here would be the multi-step form. Create request, edit request, and here would be the form without those steps, just all right. Oh, here. Form steps, I would delete all of them. I wouldn't love to edit anything. I would create only the request. So I need to have an additional data structure. I would name it user requests or user actions. That would be more or less universal data structure for throwing any actions from the form. And for now, there would be a couple of fields, type and user. Type would be type of string, and user would be type of link to our app user. It would be filled automatically. All right. Let's go to our web page here. Actions. I don't need those actions anymore. And I would create the new action. So create new request. That would be a post request to the endpoint. I'm creating that endpoint for our new structure user actions. New action. All signed in users. No fields for reading and only one field for writing type. And the user would be filled automatically. User. All right. Next, I add submitted default step. I don't need the step submitted because I'm not submitting anything from that form. I'm just performing an action. I don't need hint here. I would need an action button, create new request. All right, perfect. Checking it out, create new request. Click and nothing happens. Let's have a look at the data table user actions. Nothing happened. Let's check it again. Action, new action. Oh, I need some payload here because I cannot create absolutely empty objects. I would fill type new request. All right, check it again, create new request. Something happened. Let's have a look at the data structure, user actions. Here we are. New request by me. Everything is good. And now I need to add this scenario which would work synchronically, which would create the object request and which would redirect the user to the web page, to the sub page. So process actions that would work with data structure user actions and no trigger because it is called synchronically from the API endpoint. All right. First, I would love to check the type of the action. In our case, that is new request type. Don't forget to add comments for making your scenario readable. Type equals to new request. If yes, we would create new object. In the data structure requests, fields mapping, I would fill only the user by the user. And I needed to save somewhere the ID of the created object. So I would add another context variable, request ID, type of, it could be string, regular string, or it could be even a link to the requests. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'm creating the object and saving to the context variable request ID. Perfect. And then I need to response back to the form and to redirect the user to the certain page. Let's check the documentation to the multi-step form. Here we are. And we need to check processing requests synchronically. And here are the schemes of the response. So if I respond with object, field 1, value, blah, 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 I would change the modal. If I respond with the state, I would change the state. I could combine it easily. And that is what we need. Redirect, target, and delay. So that is the JSON that we need to compose in our scenario using API response step. Here, API response. Let's delete anything that we don't need. And here would be context variable request ID. All right. Publish, run, and don't forget to add that scenario to our endpoint on the action as running synchronically. Process post request synchronically in that scenario. Now, right, save. And let's now check it. Create new request. And we have been redirected. You see? The page is empty because we haven't configured the form there. Here is the form. And let's add some step, default step, with just the text paragraph with ID. Here we are. And we could further edit that object. So we could create another one, and we would have them in our requests data structure. So for now, that is it. Feel free to ask any questions in our Discord community or right here. The next part would be more fun. Our partner, the leader of the agency specializing on the complex projects based on directional, Dima would share the curious use case. He would create a simple game on our multi-step forum. You might remember there was a game named Pokemon Go, where you were catching Pokemons, feeding them, having some points. Anyway, the gameplay was more or less complicated. And now Dima would try to recreate that gameplay using our multi-step form, all those mechanics with the synchronous scenarios, different conditional views, etc. So, Dima, are you here?
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
My name is Dima, and yes, today I will tell you how you can develop an application where you can catch Pokemon and feed them. At the first, let's see how it's work. You see, I have a simple button, catch. When I press, I see that I didn't catch any Pokemon, but I have another try. Let's press it. 1 second. Yes, this if I have catched this Pokemon matchup, I can change his name. For example, Demo. I can feed my Pokemon, and we can see that mood changed. Okay, and we can go back and see that in my page I see all my Pokemons. If I'm trying to catch another Pokemon and go back, I see all my Pokemons. Let's try to understand how my application works. And at the first step, we need to understand my databases. This is database Pokemon. You can see we have a title. This is a name of Pokemon, and we see image. This is a simple database, only title and image. This is our dictionary. The second database, user Pokemon. It is an intersection of users and Pokemons. For example, we can see user and Pokemon ID. We can see my ID and Pokemon ID, Pokemon name, and Pokemon image. Okay. And we have another one database. This is a special database for all users' actions from our application. In this database, we can see all users' actions, for example, catch Pokemon or feed Pokemon. We can see who create this action, and we can validate all actions from front. Okay, let's start to see our form. In our first page, we have only one simple button, catch. And this button sent the request to our database with action catch Pokemon. And if we check our IP endpoint, we can see that this IP endpoint works with synchronic scenario. And let's check this scenario. At the first step, we have a simple step, A/B test. It is a random step, and we can send our request to different two roads. If I want if I send request and my request goes by this road, I add to my request Pokemon ID. It is a low dash simple function. We set a random number to our Pokemon. The second step on this road, we create new object in our database user Pokemon, Pokemon ID, and Pokemon creator. And we mapping fields with Pokemon ID, user ID. We set name to our Pokemon from our database. We set mood percent and mood ID, and we set image from our linked object. And after this, we send a API response with state submitted. We can say that it is a Pokemon with this ID, and the main part of this API response, it is a redirect. We have a target to our road Pokemon. Let's see. Pokemon and ID Pokemon ID dash creator ID, and we can set up a delay. Okay. If our request goes to another road, we send response that step submitted and different else keys for our scheme. In our case, it is these keys don't work, and we can set only one step submitted. Okay, I can reset counters, and let's try to catch another Pokemon. Catch, and let's check. As you see, I go to this road, and my current step is submitted. Let's check this step. Submitted. There I have a hint with this phrase, and action button, new try. Our action button works very simple. This action button change only step on default step, and when we press this button, yes, we change forms step, and we can catch another Pokemon. Okay. Oh, let's check our scenario, refresh counters, and we can see that we have sent 4 requests. Only one request create a new object user Pokemon. Let's check our database user Pokemon, and we can see that this ID user and Pokemon. Let's check our subpage with our Pokemon. On this page, we have one button. This button helps user to go back, and simple form with default step. In this step, we have a text paragraph with name of our Pokemon, mood, and image. On the bottom, we have two action buttons, change name and feed Pokemon. These action buttons we can configure in a special tab, Actions, and we can see for my change name step, I change pop-up and I set demo. For example, we can change demo 2, or we can set directional, save, and trying to check. As you see, this pop-up doesn't work because we changed our pop-up and we need go to our form step and set a correct step, refresh our page, and our pop-up is working. Okay, let's see our pop-up step. In this step, we have a close pop-up action. This action change this action changes only our pop-up step. And if we press, we go back and we have input with new name. It is a simple input. I added on my state. And second action button, change name. This action button send a request to our database, special database. We send our Pokemon ID, user Pokemon ID. We send a special field action with change name, and we we send name. And let's check our scenario for this database. This scenario works on new objects, and if we and if in our request action is equal change name, we go to this road where we change name, user Pokemon, user Pokemon to new name. And we send a refresher. It is a socket plugin. Let's try to change name. Demo. Change name. Demo. Okay, it works. Let's try to feed our Pokemon. It is a second button, action button, feed Pokemon. And let's check how this action button works. we send request to our database, special database user Pokemon. We set action feed Pokemon and Pokemon ID. And if on our, okay, I'm sorry. And if we create this action, our scenario triggered by new object, and check our field, action field. If this field is equal fit Pokemon, we go to step A/B test, and we can increment our Pokemon's mood percent, and we can change user Pokemon mood ID by its mood percent. Or we have another road. In this road, we decrement mood percent, and we change mood ID if our mood percent is small or in normal, or if our mood percent higher than 70%, we set happy. Let's check how this scenario works. Go to our page and send new request. Go back and see that I have sent the request with my user Pokemon demo with action feed Pokemon, and let's check mood percent and mood status. Let's try to feed our Pokemon, and we see that emoji have changed. Let's check our scenario. Refresh logs. And we see that it is a second request. And we see that mood percent have changed, and user Pokemon mood ID is changed to, was changed, have changed to. We can create another different scenarios to these ways. For example, we can add new action for our Pokemon. For example, we can change this logic to battle, to fighting, or something else. Okay, I have finished my demonstration. You can check this application. I have create Mm, File, please help me.
You created a snapshot, and you could share the snapshot
Yes, yes.
with the guys on Discord, so everybody could deploy that application in your directional account and play with it, investigate all the details. So don't hesitate to tag Dima or me on Discord. So anyway, we will share the snapshot to play with. So great. I do love your presentation, Dima. Thank you very much. So if any question appears, don't hesitate to post it on our Discord community. So we will be happy to help. Thank you for the attention. Have a good day. Take care.
Thank you.